idea of Vayomer Leyonis Macher Chodesh, that there's the idea of before you have the level of Chodesh, of newness, you have the new moon, the new Gilui. You have to have the bittul beforehand, just like you have V'nifkadata ki pocket Moshevecha, that the fact that David HaMelech was absent, that made him be remembered. And this is the idea of the in Avodas Hashem, that through our bittul we bring about the ischachus that comes la'asid lavoi, even though all the hamshachas of la'asid lavoi are totally beyond it now. Still in all, we have to do at present a me'einza, and the me'ein of what we're doing at present is similar to our monthly bittul before you have the Rish Chodesh, the monthly emptiness of the moon, the bittul, and then you have the gilui of the moon. Just like every day, getting up in the morning is similar and recalls the idea of Tchias HaMesim. So even though it's not identical, but still in all it's similar enough. And the same way our avodah of bittul is drawing on Amshachas similar to what's going to be when Mashiach comes. So we're holding 6 lines from the end of the first paragraph on the page, in the middle of the line Omnam. Despite the fact that we have on a daily basis these chachos, and we have these chachos through our avodah, through our bittul, we constantly bring about these chachos, just like every new month is these chachos through our bittul beforehand. The main idea of newness will be specifically when Mashiach comes. Beforehand, we spoke about that these chachos, the renewal of Mashiach's times, is in the gilui of Pnimius Atik, of the revelation of the highest level in Keser, the inner level of Atik, which nothing like that is revealed now. Now the Rebbe is going to bring in also as far as neshamas are concerned, similar to what we were talking about Tchias HaMesim, the neshamas coming into the bodies is similar to the neshamas coming into the bodies on a daily basis. The same thing, the neshamas of Mashiach's times will be of a totally different category. That will be neshamas chadoshes, new neshamas. V'im yesh gam achshav yesh neshamas chadoshes, though we know that even in the time of Golos, in the times prior to Mashiach, there is also new neshamas. It's not the true idea of new neshamas. The true idea of neshamas chadashes will be specifically when Mashiach will come. The difference is, it's brought down in the Mamorim and Likutei Torah and other places, that now the neshamas chadashes are all neshamas that were there one time part of Adam Arishon. What it means, neshamas chadashes, is that they have never been here previously in a Gilgul, but they were at least, I believe the Vart is from Yechida of Adam Arishon. But la'asid lavai, the neshamas chadashes, the new neshamas will be such neshamas that weren't even part of Adam Rishon. So they're completely new. They really were never down here in this world. That's the idea that their crowns are on their heads. This is an interesting concept that's brought down in Kabbalah, that the Alter Rebbe quotes from the Ramaz, that the neshamas of our times, the tzaddikim, yoshvim, v'itreseim beresheim, means that the neshamas of our days will be crowned and have upon them these neshamas chadashes that were never even part of Adam Harishon. That's where it says. Why, what? I don't know anything more than that. But this is a interesting explanation of what the Chazal say, that in La'asid Lav it will be itreseim beresheim. So even though it will be completely new, so therefore we can't compare it to the newness of our avodah now that we accomplished through our bittul. Still in all, there is a similarity for this. There's an example of this, that we have this renewal also Rish Chodesh, that we have this type of relationship. That through the level of bittul, we reach the highest, most level, the level of Eden. There is the Nahar that goes out of Eden. There is the Gan that gets from the Nahar, but the ultimate level is Eden. That's even higher than Gan Eden. Shalzeh Amr Azal, concerning this, the Chazal say, Kol HaNeviim Loinis Nabu Ali Moisei Mashiach. All the Nevi'im only prophesied only to the days of Mashiach. In other words, all the prophecies and all the Nevuahs that we see in Yeshaya Navi, for example, and in other places about Mashiach's times, the only period of Mashiach's times they were able to describe and reveal was only of Yemoisa Mashiach, before the level of Olam Haba. Olam Haba, there's the level of the world to come, beyond the level of Yemoisa Mashiach, perhaps beyond the time of Tchias HaMesim. Ayin lo ra'asa Elikim zosecha. No eye has seen this except for Elikim. This is beyond even the eyes of the Nevi'im. Even the Nevi'im have not been able to see this and perceive this. And what is this referring to? So the Chazal says, Ze Eden Chulu, this is the level of Eden. And this level of Eden, we have to a certain degree, we tap into that now in our time of Golus through our avodah of the bittul. That is the bittul of the Makabel, just like Erev Reish Chodesh, there's the bittul before the Gili Erev Reish Chodesh. We reach this level of Eden to a certain degree, similar to what's going to be when Mashiach comes. So now the Rebbe is going to examine this pasuk of Ayin lo ra'asa Elikim zosecha and connect it also with our parsha. Second paragraph on the page. Why do we say that no one except for Elikim is able to has seen this level of Eden, this level of Olam Haba, this beyond Yemoisa Mashiach? Shem Elikim Dafka. Why specifically the name Elikim? The name Elikim, we know, shows on constriction and limitation. Also, we have to understand in our parsha, when Yitzchak gave the brachas to Yaakov, there it says that Elikim will give for you from the dew of heaven and from the fats of the land, and much grain and wine. Chassidus asked this in many places, and also in the Hemshech V'Amarim Tafresh Samach Vav Masha Omer Elikim. Why does he say Elikim will give this to you? The Lechura Havalela Meimer Shem Avaya, seemingly he should have used the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. Tare Ikerin in HaBrachis Shem Avaya Davke. The main idea of brachis was the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, because Yud Kei Vav Kei is Hashem's name of Chesed and expansion and Bligvul and beyond Seder Ishtalshalos, which is what brachas are all about. Not from the name Elikim, which has to do tzimtzum, constriction. It was the name of creation, Bereshis Bara Elikim. Befrat. This holds true if it was any bracha, it should have been used the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, not the name Elikim. Especially Birchas Yitzchak Shem Brachas, Niles B'Yosef Kimavur B'Sidr B'Soif Sharet Kiyas, especially the brachas of Yitzchak that are very lofty brachas, like it's explained in the Sidr with Chassidus at the end of the section, the gate that speaks about Kiyas, how it speaks about how Yitzchak's brachas were very, very high brachas. So they're not just ordinary brachas, they're extremely high brachas. If they're extremely high brachas, so why do we use Shem Elikim? Additionally, on top of that, there's a deeper meaning to what it says, which begs a different question. It's also not understood. It's brought down the Medrash. The Medrash says that this is talking about different parts of Torah. The dew of heaven, that's Chumash and Navi, the fats of the land, that's Mishnayos, grain that's going on Gemara, etc. What type of idea is there that Yitzchak has to bench Yaakov Avinu with Torah? when you bench someone with something, that means whatever you're benching them, they do not have on their own. You give them a bracha, they should have parnasa. That means they don't have enough parnasa, or they don't have any parnasa. You give them a bracha for health. Usually it means there's some problem with the health. But here, how do you bench him with Torah? Torah is part and parcel of what Yaakov was about. The lechura ain't a shayach bracha als seemingly a bracha for this doesn't apply. Shariat Torah is the intensely Yisrael b'lav hachiv matan Torah. The Torah would have anyway been given to the Yidden in the giving of the Torah. If Yitzchak would not have chosen to give a bracha to Yaakov for Torah, would he not have Torah? Of course, the Yidden would have had Torah by Matan Torah. Because the first and the beginning of the entire intention of the creation of the world was for the sake of Torah. Like the Chazal say, al pasuk bereishis bara. Why does it say bereishis? So it says beis reishis. There are two things that are reishis. Bishvil Yisrael shenikra reishis, for the Yidden that are called reishis. Or bishvil ha-Torah shenikras reishis, and for the sake of Torah, which is called the reishis. This was right away at the beginning of creation that Hashem gave this to the Yidden. That the Torah was already established and set in the nature of creation. It was built into creation that there had to be Torah. And not only that there had to be Torah, but the entire creation was linked to the Yidden acceptance of the Torah, in a way of its conditional part of creation, that the entire creation's condition is on the Torah, and we know the rule is the botlat nai botlat dover. It's a halacha that if you make a condition on a sale or on any type of transaction, on a kedushin, if the condition is not met, so the sale or the other transaction is nullified. And over here we know that the entire world was created on the condition of Torah. Could is the Gemara al pasuk, like it's brought on the Gemara on the pasuk of Gomer Yom Hashishi. It was evening on the 6th day. So the question is, why does it say Yom Hashishi with a hey, the 6th day? Every single day it says Vayera Yom Sheni, Yom Shlishi, Yom Revi. Here it says Hashishi. Hashishi means the well-known 6th day, the 6th of Sivan. Tonight, Hashem made a condition with the creation. If the Yidden will fulfill my Torah, it says that from the heavens Hashem spoke, and the land was fearful, and it calmed down. Initially, it was fearful. At the end, it calmed down because the world was unsure if the Yidden would accept the Torah. And if the Yidden would not accept the Torah, so then the condition of the world would have ceased, so the world would have ceased. And then when the Yidden accepted the Torah, shakata, it calmed down. And as soon as Torah inyan hamuchrach, therefore the giving of the Torah was something that was necessary. How is it possible to give a bracha for this, as if we would think that there would not be any type of Torah by the Yidden? It was a given and had to happen. So why was there even a bracha for it? Then the Rebbe goes on further. We know there's Torah the way it was before Matan Torah and Torah after Matan Torah. So he says Gam tzarich lahavin. Also, we need to understand the Memon of Shech. Either way, we look at it, it's a problem. Im ha'is ha'kavan v'bracha limrat Torah k'may shehoya koydem Matan Torah. Perhaps you'll say that is all the idea that Hashem gave, Yitzchak gave Yaakov the bracha for Torah was all for Torah before Matan Torah. And the fact that Hashem made a condition with the creation was for after Matan Torah. So maybe that was the bracha, that Yitzchak gave Yaakov the bracha for Torah study prior to Matan Torah. So the Rebbe says, again, you need a bracha if something is lacking, if something is missing. Before Yaakov, there was also Torah. That it's Allah obvious because there was already Torah study by the obvious. That Avram was elderly. And the word Zaken, Zikne Yisrael, also means a sage, a learned person. Zaken zem mishakana chachma. So the Chazal say, why does it say Avram Zokein, Avram Avinu Zokein, v'yoshev b'yeshiva hayachu? That Avram was a sage and he was learning Torah. Yaakov Avinu Zokein v'yoshev b'yeshiva haya. Yaakov Avinu was a sage and sat in yeshiva. So in other words, Torah was there already. You didn't need to have a bracha for the Torah before Matan Torah. Maybe you'll say so the bracha was that the Torah that Yitzchak was giving Yaakov a bracha for was that Yaakov should be able to learn now the Torah of the time of after Matan Torah. So the Rebbe says, also you can't say that. You can't say that Yitzchak was giving Yaakov a bracha. You know what? You should learn Torah now like the Torah that's given after Matan Torah. We know that the Torah mitzvahs of the Avos, including Yaakov Avinu's Torah, was only like a scent in comparison to the oil itself that gives off the scent of after Matan Torah. So therefore the bracha of Yitzchak was not for any purpose, because he could not have the Torah of after Matan Torah, and the Torah of prior Matan Torah to Matan Torah he already had. So now the Rebbe is going to go in a new direction. This wasn't meant for Yaakov. Yeah, it was intended for Esav, and Esav does not have any connection with Torah. And since Yitzchak thought he was giving the brachas to Esav, that's why he was giving him a bracha for Torah. So he says in the second paragraph on the second page, seemingly we could answer this question as follows. This was based on the Havamin of Yitzchak. His intention was to give the bracha to Esav. Therefore he gave him a bracha for Torah. What's the benefit of Esav learning Torah? Yitzchak thought and was hoping that if he gives Esav the bracha of Torah, and then Esav will be able to become refined through it. The study of Torah will elevate him and transform him, and he'll stop being Esav Arasha. And Esav Shayach bracha. Esav, to him we could say he actually needs such a bracha. Because the fact that we said that Torah was a necessary thing and was going to happen, that's only for Yidden. Therefore, now we can understand why Yitzchak gave a bracha for Torah, because Yitzchak was thinking, I'm giving this bracha for Esav. But Torah is a Torah of truth. And even the way it turned out, the bracha being given to Yaakov was not for nothing. It was also intentional. When Hashem made it and Rivka made it that it should go to Yaakov, because Yaakov needs that bracha. So the Rebbe says in the third line, the second paragraph, on the Kol Mokum Einem move on still, and what's not understood. In actuality, the brachas were given to Yaakov. Like it says, Ata lakachas birchasi, now take the bracha. In other words, that even once he found out that this was that there was a switch over here, Yitzchak agreed to the brachas that he gave Yaakov. So he says, "Go take my bracha and go ahead." That's what it means. Take the brachas I gave you earlier, thinking that you're Esav, and take it now as Yaakov. We see that we make a big deal from the brachas that Yitzchak gave to Yaakov. So that means that even the bracha of Torah was meant and eventually was solidified and verified as belonging to Yaakov. According to this, it's not understood. What's the idea of the bracha for Yaakov in Torah? So he says in the third paragraph, who the idea behind this is that Torah, the difference in the Torah of Matan Torah versus the bracha of Yitzchak, the Torah, the way it was given by Matan Torah, is the Torah the way it is on its own. But the bracha of Yitzchak was concerning the toil in Torah. that Yitzchak gave Yaakov the bracha for toiling in Torah, and the benefit of toiling, we're going to explain, is like the benefit of the bittul before the greater gilui. Toiling is, I'm being mevatel myself. I'm putting myself aside. My whole metzius is like blown apart because I can't understand what's going on. Concerning this, it says, that he will do for the one that awaits him. What's mechake? So there's a zoya v'isa b'zoyer. Inun the dachkin lemila d'chuchmasa. Those that toil, that press themselves in matters of wisdom, they will get this very high level of revelation of Mashiach's times that we were speaking about, the Yasa Lakim, and so on. Through toiling in Torah, we reach to a level that's higher than the Torah, the way it's on its own. Not Torah, the Torah, the way it's on its own, it's only the level of Chachma, Hashem's wisdom. And even higher than that, it's the level of the concealed level of Chachma. The level of Chachma in Keser, usually Chachma of Arich, Chachma of Chitzonius HaKeser. That is all Torah on its own. That would have been given on Matan Torah without the bracha of Yitzchak. And through the toil, we reach this level of Eden that it says, this level of Eden that's beyond being seen by anyone, by any Nevi'im. This is reached through Yasel Machakeloi, through Yegia B'Torah, and who and through Lamayla Lagamli B'chinas HaChachma. That's totally beyond the level of Chachma. That has to do with Pnimius Atik, like we were saying before, and that is reached because Yitzchak gave Yaakov the bracha, and through Yaakov to the whole Klal Yisrael, of Yegia B'Torah, that through Yegia and toiling in Torah we can reach this very high level. Well, Pisa moving gamak so Daitach Shel Yitzchak Sheratz Levarach Esav B'Chadei is barer. Based on what we just now understood, what Yitzchak was giving in the V'yitel Chabracha is the toil in Torah. We can understand why Yitzchak even had a havamina that he wanted to give the bracha to Esav, to refine him. We know according to Chassidus that was the purpose of Yitzchak's bracha. He wanted to bring down such a great revelation of light, and that great revelation of light would affect Esav and refine him. Lepoil, it was not meant to be, because either that great light that would have come down to Esav would have been totally swallowed up in clip of Esav and wouldn't have done anything, or it would have completely shattered Esav and broken him, which is also not the purpose. The purpose is to elevate the sparks of Esav, not break him. But what was the havamina that Yitzchak had that the brachas would help him? And he says, the difficulty is, the l'chura eich masem zeh mavapoyol, how does it fit in what Yitzchak tried to do with the actuality? Vareya Avis Heinein Amarkava, the Avis are chariot Hashem, they are totally bottled to the Eibishter. So how could Hashem's will have been not that the brachas should not be communicated to Esav, but Yitzchak would as if want to do something against Hashem's will? So it must be that even what Yitzchak wanted and what he desired to do was part of the big picture as well, which is but through the brachas that Yitzchak benched Yaakov Avinu concerning the toil in Torah, this toil of Torah that Yitzchak gave Yaakov, Yitzchak's intention with the brachas was to refine Esav. When things got turned around, and now Yitzchak benched Yaakov, now Yaakov's capability of being Miyagev Torah, that gave him the capability to refine Esav. So the intention of Yitzchak to refine Esav was correct, but it had to go through Yaakov. And how would it go through Yaakov? By Yaakov having the Yegia B'Torah. the Mekiv because since through toiling we draw down from the level of Eden, through this we could refine not just Klippas Noiga, but also the sparks that's in the Gimel Klipsat Meis. To be able to refine the sparks that are so low in Esav, you need to have an extremely high light. And that extremely high light was the Yegia B'Torah that Yitzchak gave Yaakov. So there was the bitter of Esav, but it had to go through Yaakov, through giving him the Yegia B'Torah. That Yaakov sent Esav the message that Im Lavan Garti. Why did he have to tell Esav about his strength by Lavan? Because he was messaging Esav and he was communicating. That then he concluded the refinement with Lavan. So he did now refine the sparks of Lavan, and now v'holach levares Esav. That now Yaakov was continuing on this mission that was now entrusted to him through the brachas of Yitzchak, that now he had to go on and refine Esav. And this was what Yaakov was telling Esav, I'm ready now to complete the job now, to refine you. That Yaakov on his own was already ready to refine Esav. He already had the tools. He had the Yegia B'Torah. And from Yaakov Avinu's perspective, the refinement process was already done, except that Esav was not yet ready. And why was he able to do so? Why, from Yaakov's perspective, was he ready? That's through the brachas that Yaakov received in V'yitan Lacha of Yegia B'Torah. And since toiling in Torah reaches so high, the level of Eden, the Ayin Loid Asa L'Kim Z'Losecha, therefore, that was powerful enough, that was high enough of a Gili Oyer that gave him the capability to refine Esav.